territory in the name of House of Bourbon, wherein said territory will be established as a democratic monarchy, as was established by the House of by the Legitimists of France.
Yeah.
Three generations of de Beaumont personally accompanied the Duchess du Berry and her family's efforts to claim the throne of France in the name of the Bourbons. Today, the United States claimed our democracy was shut down by proposing congressmen who were conducting an ideological crusade.
Okay.
Error.
All right. I'll have to correct that.
Should I mark it?
No.
It's not hip music.
Huh?
Hip music,
It is.
I think.
Yeah.
I have identified this crusade as coming from the economic ideology being pushed upon this nation libertarianism and libertarian Republicans who cite the economic philosophy of Jean-Baptiste Say, who is the brother of another economist philosopher, Louis Augustin Say, who is Virginia's great-great-great-grandfather. That is to say,
Thank you for catching the pun.
if libertarians believe they own the right to shut down the government of the United States of America in the name of Jean-Baptiste Say,
Which they are.
isn't it crazy? They have the right to shut down the government?
They did. It's closed.
My family has the right to cut
Because of the economical ideas set forth by your family that are quoted in all the libertarian documents that I've been looking on the internet. Yes, they believe the philosophy of your ancestor because he believed in little government. And this, a government should not interfere in the business of men, and Christian men and men in the West. And this is exactly the same philosophy that was used by the opponents of the sale or the purchase of the Louisiana Territory. It's exactly the same argument that a lot of Americans, a lot of people that live in
the opponents?
the Louisiana Territory said this is big government interfering with private enterprise. That Thomas Jefferson had no right to purchase the Louisiana Territory, and supposedly they purchased this from Napoleon, who was Louis Augustus de Beaumont's bitter enemy, and he betrayed Napoleon so he could restore the Bourbons to the throne of England. This sale is illegal. It was made by Baring and Company, and I'm challenging it because yes,
Good heavens.
yeah,
By Baring and Company?
Baring Company. It was a banking firm.
B-A-R-Y.
Baring, right?
Baring?
Yeah, Baring.
Huh.
So they had no right they were actually the agents who sold it. Napoleon had no right to sell it, but he did. And the people that would have opposed that is your great ancestor, who was the Marshal of France.
Did
de
he oppose it?
Huh?
Did he oppose it?
Well, we don't know. I'm still looking for that. Okay. But the House of Bourbon also came into Mexico and ruled Mexico and changed Mexico. And
It's too bad.
And the Habsburgs, who also ruled Mexico, are related to the House of Bourbon Parma, which is Empress Zita, whose portraits families in a painting at the University of Oregon Museum. And I'm trying to talk with Stefan about getting that painting returned to Austria. Yes.
Wow.
So this is a whole art piece a whole. Madame du Barry, the Duchess du Barry, was a patron of the arts. She promoted the arts, and she promoted the return of the Bourbons. She was a Bourbon, and she would have been the Queen of France.
So what's the
If
ring
your
on?
great-grandfather, well, look what it's shaped like.
It's a crown.
Yeah. So this is a union of an effort that spans several generations, and I'm at least your helper in this. You know, your knight in shining armor who has come to help restore your history. Because when your father brought you, your mother from France, and and had children by here in America, you were all American citizens, okay? In many respects, you lost your heritage back there, and that's why he planted those vines in front of your house, okay? But I'm restoring the Bourbons, and wait a minute, to the Louisiana.
What do you mean? Wait a minute.
Wait, let me just say, I'm trying to restore the Louisiana territory to make it a new kingdom of France in America, under all the rules that I put forth in this document.
Good.
I can only fail,
Well,
right?
You can only fail, but so what do you mean by that?
Well, what have I offered you? Has anybody else got on their knees, proposed marriage to you, and offered you a kingdom?
No.
Okay. Why have I done this, Virginia?
It's pretty dramatic.
Huh?
I think it's dramatic.
Dramatic?
You're being very dramatic.
You know, so were you when you got down on your knee and proposed marriage to me. And I'm just returning the honor, okay?
Hey, that's great.
You know, because I honor and cherish you, and I have for 16 years.
That's good.
And I love you, and I know that you're an independent woman, and you want to see other men and all that, but
Who are you?
who am I?
What
I just want you to think for 3 days and get back to me. Look at this, and if we don't go through some ritual marriage, from the document that Chris is sending, then I would like to be your chamberlain. I would like to be your servant in this lifetime to help restore the dignity and the heritage of your family.
Good. That's nice.
Who's honored and promoted the House of Bourbon. I want you to be the representative of the House of Bourbon, and if there's going to be hereditary lineage.
I have brothers and sisters too.
I know, I was just going to mention them. In this document, I say, because you can't have children, and we can't have children, that they be if there's a hereditary lineage set up, if people start to recognize this document, then your nieces and nephews will be in line for a throne.
That's good.
Okay, because they are of the blood, and you are of the blood. Your family descends from Louis VII, the Bourbon, who was the King of France. So you are of the blood, seriously.
That's nice.
All right.
That's good.
Okay. So I'm gonna turn this off now.